So we have our address, all our products are uploaded, we have our collection. Um, but the store is still a mess inside. There is electrical wiring hanging everywhere. There is no paint on the walls. And the outside of the store still says Amazon 1267 in big outside. And it's still a mess there as well. So let's get those two last points updated. Now I'm going to talk about almost the last point, which is the electrical wiring and the paint on the walls. So for that, we go back to online store, and we can see here earlier we decided to get the narrative theme. Maybe the order didn't really make sense. I did the best I can considering my time constraints. Anyway, we're going to go back to themes, and this is the narrative theme that we purchased for free. So 55 minutes ago, actually. So we're going to make sure it's a little bit nicer. We're going to clean it up, paint the walls a little bit, and hide the electrical wires hanging. To do that, I actually recommend that whenever you make changes to your store, you start painting your store, or changing the text into your store, you duplicate your theme. That is because you're going to make changes, and sometimes you're going to paint over something. You're going to realize, oh, actually I really like that color, I wish it was like that, and it's kind of too late. So by making the changes on the duplicate version, you can make all the changes, and then if you're really happy about it, you can make that duplicate version your main version. You can post those changes, and that way you always have a backup of the things you did previously. So let's see here. Let's click on Customize. And this has been made so that you can do it with no coding, basically. It wasn't like that a couple of years ago, but now they've built it so that you don't need any code. This is your homepage. Welcome to your homepage. This is what people are going to see when they land on your website. And you can see that you can clearly need to add some elements to it. Every section, so this would be a section right here. This would be another section right here. This would be another section, section number 3. They're all right here. Section number 1, section number 2, section number 3. Talk about your brand is going to be the next one. There you go. Talk about your brand. After that, there's going to be a gallery. And here are the galleries. Testimonials. This is the testimonial by author's name. And so forth and so on. So they're all here, everything that you see. Okay, cool, Andrew. The slideshow, so the tell your story is clearly a slideshow. If I click on it, you can kind of change like little things. Again, because we're doing this on the duplicate version, feel free to move around. It's not permanent until you save. If you're safe, you're still working on the duplicate version, not the main version, so don't worry about it. You can kind of turn it on, try it out a bit. This is tell your story. Oh, here we see this little icon. This means there is going to be an image. So let's upload an image right here. I'm just adding random images at this point because there you go, a random image from Dubai. Select it, tell your story, and there is this random image. If I want to add, because this is, I can edit, I can remove, I can change it, I can change the alignment, and I can change the heading. Tell your story. Welcome visitor. The slide title, what is this? See, sometimes because all these themes are slightly different, require you to add more than one slide. Oh, okay. So if I would add a second picture to this right here, then I could do the slide title. Anyway, these are like little nitty gritty stuff you kind of have to play around with. I can't really... Oh, this is a slide title. So I think it's, if I do hello here, view button label, I can do buy now. Button link, it's going to link to the product of Bad Donkey t-shirt. There you go. So I added the buy now button to Bad Monkey t-shirt, and if I click on this button, it's going to bring me, I'm going to do it in a new tab, it's going to bring me to the Bad Monkey t-shirt, to the Bad Monkey t-shirt product. Bad Donkey. I can't even produce my own product names. Times are tough, people. So I can add additional pictures because it's a slideshow. Let's add one more just so that you understand the concept. Here, a nice little motorcycle. And we select this, and then we can change moto. We can change, and I'm not going to put a button on this one. So let's save. And then go back to our store just so that you understand what we are actually doing. We are literally painting the inside of the store right now, making it look and feel exactly as we want it, really personalizing it. So if I click on the little view icon right here, you're going to see that, oh, no, that's not true. Forget what I said. Because we were working on a duplicate, this is not live yet. So even if visitors come and see our stores, they will not see the changes we made. Oh, my battery is getting really low. Huh? So we have to publish this. There we go, it's published. And if, I'm sorry for the background noise, and if right now we're going to see and visit our store, there you go. This is the store that we see. Welcome visitor, buy now is going to bring me to the thing. And here is my motto. And I haven't changed all this yet. So the same concept applies, that you can go into customize and you can change literally everything on your home page. Do I still have time? Yes, I do. You can add sections or remove them altogether normally by remove the section. So let's say I don't want clients testimonials. So client testimonials, you can click here. So now I'm in the client testimonials, so I can add testimonials as I want. Or I can say I don't want client testimonials and I remove the entire section, and now there are no more client testimonials. Save. I can do this for every single page on my website, meaning I can go to the password page and I can modify this right here. What I can do is limited, true, but I can modify it. I can go to my product page and I can modify within limitations how my product page is currently looking. I can change sections. Maybe not, oh no, not here, but this is how my product page looks. And I can go to my collection pages where all my collections are listed, and I can modify it somewhat here as well. So you can really play along. You kind of have to go and discover things by yourself. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the home page. You can move sections like this. So you don't want the slideshow, you want to video at the top. You can drag and drop, and now the video is at the top. All right, here we're going to go in a little bit further into the customizer section of the store. We're going to change colors, typographies, and things like that. So we were playing along here, as you remember correctly. We can now click in theme settings. This is where we can change the color of the store. When it's, you will notice that the buy now button is this color. This is what is called primary accent colors, like sales tags, buttons, and special ornaments. I can change the color to yellow maybe, and there you go. And then you have the buy now buttons in yellow, and across my entire website the buttons are going to be yellow. Now this typically kind of depends on the type of theme you purchased. Remember before we were talking about theme purchases. In this section when we were talking about this, it's going to depend on the type that you purchased. Every single team is a little bit different in how they operate on that. As a general rule, and I'm not a designer, so you probably want to talk to a designer with this. If not, it is not the end of the world. Remember, again, the goal is to get you online ASAP. But if you go a bit deeper into e-commerce, as a general rule, you want to have a max of 4 colors in your store. You want to make sure they're kind of in harmony together, and you want to make sure, so yeah, you have 4 colors that work well together and that get repeated everywhere across your store. Your CTA buttons, or your call to action buttons, which are the buy now buttons, for example, are all the same color. You want your font and your typography to be all the same colors. You want your headings to be all the same colors. So you want consistency throughout your store. So usually they recommend 3 to 4 different colors that go well together, and to use that. Now, if all of this you're like, Andrew, what the hell are you talking? I don't have time. People stopped walking into my store. Don't worry about that. It's not the end of the world if the colors don't match. Considering the situation, people will understand. But so this is where you can change the colors of your store. Again, play around with it, especially if you're working on a duplicate. Feel free to play around with it without a lot of disadvantages. So show the cart notes. I'm quickly testing something because, like I mentioned before, every team is a little bit different. So I add to cart. Oh, this is going to be pretty useful. If you do not have this, I will make a special video on how to add a cart note. But just to be clear, for this specific team, so it's not guaranteed that in the team you chose it's the same way. For this specific team, you go in Team Settings, Cart Drawer, and you enable or disable the cart note. I disabled it now. You will see it is gone. I will enable it and it will show back up. Because you're kind of bootstrapping your store and you're doing the minimum effort to get online ASAP, having these special instruction, especially in times of coronavirus where you're going to have to go and deliver some of the packages, having this special instruction field is definitely one of the things I recommend that you do. Have a place for people to leave an extra note when they make a purchase. So you can find that in Settings, Cart Drawer. All right, this is kind of for your social. You can add Facebook, Twitter, and all of that kind. If you're selling garments or DIY home stuff, Pinterest is always very interesting. But again, this all falls into the marketing side. The favicon. Andrew, what is a favicon? You see how when you go to the Shopify site, right here, they have a nice little Shopify logo, and Google has a nice little Google logo, and our site, which is still called Amazon 1267, but that is actually elephantes.com, has this gray standard logo. That logo is called your favicon. Favicons, you can change them here. There is websites around there that will talk about favicons, and that you can change your logo and suppress it and make it in a favicon format. We will get to that later in the last section about doing the outside of your store. And then the checkout, you can only, let's go to the checkout right here. There's limited things you can do in the checkout. How Shopify works is they don't give you full control of the checkout experience. The reason is they don't want you, store owner, to actually see the credit card. It's as an extra safety mechanism for everyone using Shopify. That way you know that Shopify stores are actually pretty secure. So they give you very limited control over what you can do on the checkout. But if you click on checkout right here, you can kind of play with it. You can change the banner, you can change the logo, you can change some of the positioning of the logo. And you can kind of play around with the checkout page. Again, the checkout page is where people enter their personal information. So you can, it's very different than the cart page, which is just the page where we were before. That is the cart page. This you have full control over. On the checkout page, you have very little control. If you realize here, we're not in the page sections anymore. We're really in the team settings checkouts to make this difference. While we were in the cart, it's going to hop into a cart page, because a cart page is just like a product page or a home page. You can make the modifications of the cart page like you would like on your left side in the customizer. Okay, so that is clear. Let's go back, save I guess, and let's go back to our Shopify store. And let's finish the outside of it and turn our little sign from "we are closed, come back later" to "we are open, please start buying." That's going to be in the next video.